Hello, this is Deb with UAP Medical Coalition. I'm here today to talk to Buddy from Alien Protocols. I just want to remind everyone that the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this video belong solely to the speakers in this video and are not necessarily part of the UAP Medical Coalition's beliefs, thoughts, or opinions, or its employees, volunteers, or affiliates. All medical references are for informational purposes. This is not a consultation or a therapy session. This content can also be triggering for some and is not meant for children. Buddy is here today in order to provide his testimony regarding his UAP encounter or encounters and information to the public regarding those encounters and the resulting effects. Buddy, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's really an honor, Deb, and I deeply respect and appreciate how prescient you guys were to get together, to see the need, and to just get it done. And I think UAP Med is going to be that spear tip to really address some really important issues that are obvious to us.
Right. And when you say us, I presume you mean other people have had UAP encounters.
Exactly, not just you and me, Deb, but experiencers, researchers. The importance of this stuff, I think, is really um, broad ranging in a lot of ways.
Right. So before we go into the specific questions that I have, could you please explain to the people who are listening or watching what your experiences and encounters were with UAPs briefly?
It's difficult to do briefly. I'm sure everyone says that first. Um, I have had experiences my entire life. Um, I have had extremely close contact with craft. I did CE5 work for 3 years with a group in upstate New York, bringing the craft closer and closer through experimentation. I've had face to face physical, not well, physical contact with another being, and this was witnessed, and another person participated in it who is an aerospace executive and happened here at the Bronx at a very special little park called Galileo Park. And it was a being. And he saw him first, my friend, brilliant scientist, and said, "Is that an alien?" And this little guy, I could go into a lot about their descriptions and specifics, knew our names, absolutely staggering, stupefying experience, even difficult to say amongst people who truly understand the reality of this stuff. It happened 2 days in a row. And the experience itself um, is stupefying. And I think I have been so blessed in my different experiences with contact with not just with craft, but those very select, very high intensity contact moments. I've been blessed to have witnesses and other people with me who I could talk to and be like, "Oh my gosh, you remember this? Oh my gosh, you remember that?" For the first like 2 or 3 weeks after that event, we were calling each other constantly, like just to check our own sanity, even because it's so far removed from our daily experiences. Um, uh,
When you had that encounter, um, actually, you can speak to other encounters with UAPs other than just the entity, if you like. But did you have any physical effects after those encounters?
um, I, I, it's a complicated question to ask, but yeah, I think I could have been exposed to different things at different times. And I would like to have the liberty to go and get checked, to see if there was any type of exposure that might be interesting, or there's things that have happened that make me highly suspicious. I had physical, medical uh, effects, but after a couple of days, I kind of got more. It wasn't bad or lingering kind of things, um, but it certainly has had, uh, effects in changing my reality in life, and it still leaves me stupefied. I've got the same exact questions. We still talk constantly. It's something you struggle with. And the only solace you get, because you don't get answers, the only solace you get is from communicating with others who you really believe deeply. And some of them, have had contact. And you can be like, oh, you've seen a craft too? Oh my gosh. And now that the greater validation is coming from the scientific community, and I'm one who has actually worked with researchers and scientists in the UAP field, and uh, it's refreshing. It takes a little bit of that weight off of us. Like, we're not crazies. We're not, telling wacky stories for attention. We're experiencing something at the edge of our knowledge, and we're trying to let you guys know.
Yeah, so that next piece that I was going to ask was if there were any like psychological or psychosocial effects or responses after those encounters.
Yeah. Um, I went vegetarian, solidly vegetarian for a while. Um, I think psychologically, I think it made me a better person in a lot of different ways. It changed a lot of my perspectives on things. I'm more open. I have become more selfless, and I'm still exploring that word. Um, my friend has struggled with it. He is someone who, if he came out and said, "This is what happened. This is exactly what happened. It happened 2 days in a row with Buddy. It's at Galileo Park. It was too ironic. There's planets and the whole representation of the solar system there. It's this little humble, beautiful park, and it happened. And if he could come out and say, "Wow, this is what happened, and it's extraordinary," and I validate, I had this experience too, and these kind of things, that would be huge. But he can't. He would lose money. He would lose uh, bids. He would lose opportunities, and that's the case with a lot of people who are um, experiencers, and they have to carry an extra burden of shame and secrecy. And it's like, no, not anymore. We're better than that. We can learn from what's going on here. We can learn from the shadowy things and turn it from fear into knowledge.
Did you ever seek any form of treatment, evaluation, or examination
No,
because of your encounters?
no, I've never felt like they led to uh, a physical damage so bad that I needed medical help. I did get my skin like kind of like I guess you call it like a sunburn in an incident, but it went away by the next day. So I've never sought any medical treatment or psychological treatment um, from it. But I'm a different case too. I have some real bonuses. I'm a comedian. So I laugh at all this stuff. I can look at the poetry and the humor and the comedy of it all, the universe being obviously a rainforest of life and us thinking that we're the only ones. It's poetry. And I can handle all this stuff, I think, in a lot of ways. The comedy side helps me. Um, I think it helps me a lot.
And what do you think, besides comedy, is beneficial to people who have encounters with UAPs or entities in terms of treatment?
Um, this gets into a lot of really interesting areas. First of all, you shouldn't have shame. If you're unsure, you can say you're unsure. If you think you need these kind of tests, you should go to the professionals and see if you need those kind of tests. Um, there's also a different class of people who have had injuries, and these are people who may not have been really exposed to uh, extraterrestrials or advanced technology from non-humans. They could be exposed to dangerous new transformative technologies. If you read about the 100 victims of from the military who were medical victims of injuries from being too close to UFOs. They were sent to Dr. Kit Green, the neurologist, and he examined them. They got terrible cancers, and many high percentage died within a year. These are very bad physical effects. And at the end of the article, he said he thought it was from black technology. So there's a lot of different lines going on here, things, but no matter where the cause is and who it's from, and those issues need to be explored, obviously, the primary focus should be the treatment of these people. Let's address and just get the info and help them release their stresses. Come together. If you are an experiencer, you'll find solace with other experiencers. You will see how your experiences that have been happening fit into a kind of timeline, and that you can have more comfortable experiences. You won't have to get like manic because, oh my gosh, I saw UFO and now it's happening 3 days in a row. And you know, you can lead your family in an inquisitive path. And so having someone else to relate to, I think, is so much part of a support group and a group like this. So all the different levels of concerns can be addressed. If someone's really hurting from it and their life's messed up, okay, maybe we need to take your medical care to a next level rather than just group therapy. Um, hopefully, I answered your question.
Well, I think you did, and thank you very much for sharing about your experiences. I'm very happy that you had a positive experience that didn't lead to any serious medical or psychological effects, and that you have humor to help you. And thank you again for coming and talking to us today.
It's a real pleasure, Devin. God bless you guys in your work. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone who listened. Bye.